will call you a good leader. I am not into you. And I will never look into your faces, whether you have millions of supporters, even the half of the country is supporting you, but I still see slavery in your work. So if you are from Ghana, you are the same tribe with Akufado, I don't give a damn about that. Understand it? If you are from Ghana, you are in support of the Akufado political party. I don't give a damn about that. I don't give a damn who is the president of Ghana. I give a damn about the current affair and the economic affair and the development affair in Ghana. If you are a Nigerian, I don't give a damn whether you are Igbo, whether you are Hausa, whether you are that. I don't give a damn about that tribe because I don't believe in tribalism. I'm not here to please your tribe. I don't give a damn if you are a Nigerian and you are in support of Bola Tinubu. I don't give a damn. I don't say don't support Bola Tinubu. Die for Bola Tinubu. I don't give a damn about that. If you want to go and take a gun and fight for Bola Tinubu, I don't give a damn about that. But all I give a damn about, if Bola Tinubu is the president, I'm not against of that. But he have to do well for that country. If you are a Gambian, I don't give a damn. If you are a supporter of the president Adam Barrow, if you are the same tribe with our president Adam Barrow, I don't give a damn about any tribe in Gambia. What all I give a damn about is the current economic affair and the development affair of African countries. If any leader came and you become a puppet to Africa, you become a slave to the West to maltreat your own people so that the West will call you a good leader. I am not into you. And I will never look into your faces, whether you have millions of supporters, even the half of the country is supporting you, but I still see slavery in your work. I still see you see your peoples as nobody, but keeping the West as your father and your mother, I will still come for you. This is what you have to understand. Well, when you talk about tribes, whatever I say about any of your African leaders, nobody put it in my mouth and nobody advised me to do so. I do it on my own wills and under my own investigations. I do my own investigation. In any country that I talk about, I do my own investigation. It's not like somebody is there sending me news, my country this, my country that. No, I don't take that. I do my own investigations by myself, and to talk by myself, nobody will advise me to talk about the Ghana president, or nobody will advise me to talk about Bola Tinubu, or Gambian president, or any other African leader. But it's my own investigations I do. And when I see that leader is a slave or a puppet or a threat to African freedom, then I will come after you. But it's not like people will pay me to fight for Africa. If people will pay me to fight for Africa, or if people will pay me to fight Bola Tinubu or Akufado, how much can they pay me? And how much do you think Europeans will pay me to stop what I'm doing? Think about it. If I am arrested 3 times, my document was seized 1 time. Due to what I'm emphasizing on media. Do you think if I'm doing anything wrong, or if I'm saying anything that is lie against anybody, do you think I will not be arrested by right now? I will be arrested since 2015. I didn't. So if you are from Ghana, you are the same tribe with Akufado, I don't give a damn about that. Understand it? If you are from Ghana, you are in support of the Akufado political party. I don't give a damn about that. I don't give a damn who is the president of Ghana. I give a damn about the current affair and the economic affair and the development affair in Ghana. If you are a Nigerian, I don't give a damn whether you are Igbo, whether you are Hausa, whether you are that. I don't give a damn about that tribe because I don't believe in tribalism. I'm not here to please your tribe. I don't give a damn if you are a Nigerian and you are in support of Bola Tinubu. I don't give a damn. I don't say don't support Bola Tinubu. Die for Bola Tinubu. I don't give a damn about that. If you want to go and take a gun and fight for Bola Tinubu, I don't give a damn about that. But all I give a damn about, if Bola Tinubu is the president, I'm not against of that. But he have to do well for that country. If you are a Gambian, I don't give a damn. If you are a supporter of the president Adam Barrow, if you are the same tribe with our president Adam Barrow, I don't give a damn about any tribe in Gambia. What all I give a damn about is the current economic affair and the development affair of African countries. If any leader came and you become a puppet to Africa, you become a slave to the West to maltreat your own people so that the West will call you a good leader. I am not into you. And I will never look into your faces, whether you have millions of supporters, even the half of the country is supporting you, but I still see slavery in your work. I still see your peoples as nobody, but keeping the West as your father and your mother, I will still come for you. This is what you have to understand. Well, when you talk about tribes, whatever I say about any of your African leaders, nobody put it in my mouth and nobody advised me to do so. I do it on my own wills and under my own investigations. I do my own investigation. In any country that I talk about, I do my own investigation. It's not like somebody is there sending me news, my country this, my country that. No, I don't take that. I do my own investigations by myself, and to talk by myself, nobody will advise me to talk about the Ghana president, or nobody will advise me to talk about Bola Tinubu, or Gambian president, or any other African leader. But it's my own investigations I do, and when I see that leader is a slave or a puppet, or a threat to African freedom, then I will come after you. But it's not like people will pay me to fight for Africa. If people will pay me to fight for Africa, or if people will pay me to fight Bola Tinubu or Akufo-Addo, how much can they pay me? And how much do you think Europeans will pay me to stop what I'm doing? Think about it. If I am arrested 3 times, my document was seized 1 time. Due to what I'm emphasizing on media. Do you think if I'm doing anything wrong, or if I'm saying anything that is lie against anybody, do you think I will not be arrested by right now? I will be arrested since 2015. I didn't start this job now, so don't think like I am looking for fame. This message is going to people who think bad about me, who want to describe me, but they don't know how to describe me. They lie. So if you are from Ghana, you are the same tribe with Akufo-Addo, I don't give a damn about that. Understand it? If you are from Ghana, you are in support of the Akufo-Addo political party, I don't give a damn about that. I don't give a damn who is the president of Ghana. I give a damn about the current affair and the economic affair and the development affair in Ghana. If you are a Nigerian, I don't give a damn whether you are Igbo, whether you are Hausa, whether you are that. I don't give a damn about that tribe because I don't believe in tribalism. I'm not here to please your tribe. I don't give a damn if you are a Nigerian and you are in support of Bola Tinubu. I don't give a damn. I don't say don't support Bola Tinubu. Die for Bola Tinubu. I don't give a damn about that. If you want to go and take a gun and fight for Bola Tinubu, I don't give a damn about that. But all I give a damn about, if Bola Tinubu is the president, I'm not against of that. But he have to do well for that country. If you are a Gambian, I don't give a damn. If you are a supporter of the president Adam Barrow, if you are the same tribe with our president Adam Barrow, I don't give a damn about any tribe in Gambia. What all I give a damn about is the current economic affair and the development affair of African countries. If any leader came and you become a puppet to Africa, you become a slave to the West to maltreat your own people so that the West will call you a good leader. I am not into you. And I will never look into your faces, whether you have millions of supporters, even the half of the country is supporting you, but I still see slavery in your work. I still see your peoples as nobody, but keeping the West as your father and your mother, I will still come for you. This is what you have to understand. Well, when you talk about tribes, whatever I say about any of your African leaders, nobody put it in my mouth and nobody advised me to do so. I do it on my own wills and under my own investigations. I do my own investigation. In any country that I talk about, I do my own investigation. It's not like somebody is there sending me news, my country this, my country that. No, I don't take that. I do my own investigations by myself, and to talk by myself, nobody will advise me to talk about the Ghana president, or nobody will advise me to talk about Bola Tinubu, or Gambian president, or any other African leader. But it's my own investigations I do, and when I see that leader is a slave or a puppet or a threat to African freedom, then I will come after you. But it's not like people will pay me to fight for Africa. If people will pay me to fight for Africa, or if people will pay me to fight Bola Tinubu or Akufo-Addo, how much can they pay me? And how much do you think Europeans will pay me to stop what I'm doing? Think about it. If I am arrested 3 times, my document was seized 1 time. If you are from Ghana, you are the same tribe with Akufado. I don't give a damn about that. Understand it? If you are from Ghana, you are in support of the Akufado political party. I don't give a damn about that. I don't give a damn who is the president of Ghana. I give a damn about the current affair and the economic affair and the development affair in Ghana. If you are a Nigerian, I don't give a damn whether you are Igbo, whether you are Hausa, whether you are that. I don't give a damn about that tribe because I don't believe in tribalism. I'm not here to please your tribe. I don't give a damn if you are a Nigerian and you are in support of Bola Tinubu. I don't give a damn. I don't say don't support Bola Tinubu. Die for Bola Tinubu. I don't give a damn about that. If you want to go and take a gun and fight for Bola Tinubu, I don't give a damn about that. But all I give a damn about, if Bola Tinubu is the president, I'm not against of that. But he have to do well for that country. If you are a Gambian, I don't give a damn. If you are a supporter of the president Adam Barrow, if you are the same tribe with our president Adam Barrow, I don't give a damn about any tribe in Gambia. What all I give a damn about is the current economic affair and the development affair of African countries. If any leader came and you become a puppet to Africa, you become a slave to the West to maltreat your own people so that the West will call you a good leader. I'm not into you. And I will never look into your faces, whether you have millions of supporters, even the half of the country is supporting you, but I still see slavery in your work. I still see your peoples as nobody, but keeping the West as your father and your mother, I will still come for you. This is what you have to understand. Well, when you talk about tribes, whatever I say about any of your African leaders, nobody put it in my mouth and nobody advised me to do so. I do it on my own wills and under my own investigations. I do my own investigation. In any country that I talk about, I do my own investigation. It's not like somebody is there sending me news. My country this, my country that. No, I don't take that. I do my own investigations by myself. And to talk by myself, nobody will advise me to talk about the Ghana president, or nobody will advise me to talk about
All right. How you guys doing, folks? How everybody doing? Welcome again. Today, that is my introduction. I did not use the usual introduction that we usually do. I thought it wise to use this video because it has some meshes in it. Once again, this is your host. I am Frank Mauba. This is the Revolutionary Repatriation Educational Lecture Series, where we come to talk about Africa and to talk about African people in general and African nations around the globe. This is where we are unapologetic of what we say, because what we say, it is the truth. This is where we don't respect anybody called colonial master. This is where we don't respect any imperialist nation. This is where we don't respect any neo-colonialist. This is where we don't respect any African leader who is a puppet or who want to be the puppet, who want to be the bourgeoisie, or who want to be a lawyer to Europe and America. This is where we don't respect you. This is where we checkmate you. This is where we direct your path as an African leader on this platform. And anything we say, we are unapologetic because we don't speak with opinion. Once again, welcome. This is Frank. I am your host, the Revolutionary Repatriation Educational Lecture Series. Today's topic is a foul play in a Wagner chief Prigozhin in a plane crash. Is it a foul play or it was something normal? Who did it? Who behind it? For what reason? For who interest? Against who interest? That's what we are here to speak about today. We have two sessions of this program today. The first session, I will be calling names. And the second session, I will not be calling names. I will just say imperialist. Maybe you will understand as I go along. But like I said, the first session of this program, I'm going to call name. I'm going to be specific with names. And then the second aspect of this program, I'm not going to be specific with names due to what we already know. Once again, this is Frank. Welcome this morning. Share the live, like, and subscribe, and pass the message on to other people. This is why we don't respect African leader, even if you are an African leader. We don't care. As long you are not doing the right thing for African, as long you are not serving Africans and you are serving your colonial master, or you are serving the neo-colonial, let's say the colonialist or the imperialist, you are serving the oppressor, we don't respect you. We don't even classify you as being part of us. We don't even classify you as being one of us. This is why we disengage ourselves from you. So, welcome to the program. Give me 1 minute, folks. I'll be back. 1 minute. Let me talk to my mom quick. All right. Sorry about that, folks. I have to answer a question from my mother. So she kind of distracted me a little bit. Sorry. Yeah. So again, like I said, so today's topic is a question. All right. So it's a foul play in Prigozhin, right? The chief or the CEO or whatsoever you may call it for the private military group of Russia, right? So let's get into it. All right. But before we get to that aspect, right? So let's get to the first aspect of what I say. I have it into two separate parts because I want you to understand something before we can get to this whole plane crash issue. All right. I want you to get something. Like I said, was it in favor of African people or was it against African people? Was it in favor of certain people, the imperialists, right? I mean, was it something natural or was it foul play? All right. Now, I'm not really going to go. Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's continue. All right. So let's see the first aspect before we can get to the plane crash. Let's go to the African continent. All right. And then we will end it out in Europe or on the side here. All right. So I want to play a first video first that have nothing to do with the plane crash, but it is a message from Gaddafi in his grave. Okay. It is a message from Gaddafi speaking from his grave. All right. Gaddafi sent a message from his grave. All right. Of what is currently happening. So let's look into that. And then before we proceed, like I said, I want you to get something. All right. Be with me. All right.
My name is Muammar Gaddafi. I was born in 1942 in a humble Bedouin tent near Sirte, in a Libya colonized by the Italians. My childhood was marked by the simplicity of the desert, with stars as the only light at night and the warm wind as the only melody. I grew up with a burning thirst for justice, fueled by the stories of the elders about resistance against occupation. Freedom is a natural right of every man. This is what I deeply believed, and this belief led me to join the military academy in Benghazi. I was young.
Sorry, folks. Just for Facebook, all right, or even YouTube, we have no copyright to this video because for some reason it have a music playing behind it. So we don't want to ask you about we play a music that is not for us, or we have no copyright to it. All right, so we have no copyright to the video because of the music playing behind it. But the voice of Gaddafi, we have copyright because it is a message from him to his people. Let's continue.
Idealistic and thirsty for change. In 1969, with a few fellow officers, we overthrew King Idris III. I was then 27 and became the leader of Libya. My reign was marked by an unceasing quest for independence and sovereignty for Libya. I nationalized the oil industry, ensuring the prosperity of my people. I also launched major projects like the Great Man-Made River to bring fresh water to all regions of Libya. One who has no ambition has nothing. I always believed that ambition was the key to progress, and I wanted Libya to be a beacon for Africa and the Arab world. But my reign was not without controversy. I was criticized, ostracized, and even attacked. But I always believed in my vision for Libya. I wrote the Green Book, where I outlined my philosophy on direct democracy and socialism. Democracy is not in the ballot boxes, but in the participation of the people. I always believed that power should belong to the people. But the winds of history sometimes...
Sorry, folks. Let me answer that. Let me add to that because it is a message from Gaddafi, right? So what he said about democracy, like I said, it is a message, all right? And that go to Niger, and not only Niger, but specifically that go to ECWA and AU. That Gaddafi said, democracy is in the voice of the people. I'm just going to paraphrase it, right? Democracy is the voice and action, attitude of the people, not US, not Europe and her puppet, not in the hands of US, not in the hands of Europe and her loyal African puppet. No, democracy, as I will paraphrase it from Gaddafi, it is in the hands of the people, the voice of the people, the attitude of the people, the need of the people, the vision of the people, not in the hands of US, Europe, and her loyal colonial puppet government of Africa. Why am I saying this? The people of Niger spoke. The people of Niger talk. They envision their nation, their future. But America said that wasn't democracy because it was not from them. America said that coup d'etat in Niger was unnecessary because it was never an order from them. Because America determined the life of African people. Oh, yes. Europe and America, they are the people that determine how Africans should live. They determine the future for African people. You know what I said that? Because This is a country that got a gust to train Africans, all right, to go and remove African leaders. This is a country that got a gust to determine what a coup is and what a coup is not. This country, the United States and Europe, they determine what democracy is, not the people. But Gaddafi is saying no, and that's why they kill him. Now, AU and ECOWAS, what a disgraceful organization we have on the African continent. AU said she disengaged herself with ECOWAS not to invade Niger, fine. But then AU, being a puppet, being a colonial government, or how they call it, or organization in Africa, went ahead to cut order from another African nation, an African entity, an African organization, cutting off tie, cutting off relationship from Niger, because Europe and US told her to do it. What is the difference between you and ECOWAS? Because ECOWAS put sanction. It's the same thing by cutting all tie with Niger. It's the same thing. Is that the kind of democracy you want on the African continent? By being dictated to by US and Europe to tell you what to do, and you go and do it. Now, ECOWAS and AU. Here is the same Gaddafi, the same man. When America went and bombed him, America went and bombed Libya, America went and killed Gaddafi and killed innocent people. ECOWAS, America went and overthrew Gaddafi. ECOWAS, AU, America carried coup d'etat in Libya. The NATO nation carried coup d'etat in Libya. Why didn't you speak? And in fact, the coup d'etat America or the NATO nation carried on in Libya, it was never in favor of the African people. But the coup d'etat in Niger is in favor of the African people. The coup d'etat that was never in favor of the African people, you kept mute because you are a slave to Europe and America. But the coup d'etat in favor of African people, you going against that coup. And they're punishing the Africans, punishing Niger. Don't you know that by punishing Niger is in France interest? Don't you know that by cutting all tie from Niger, cutting all tie from our nation, don't you know that you are fighting for France? Don't you know that you are fighting for France's colonial behavior to steal in Africa, in Niger? Don't you know that you are fighting for Europe to continue the exploitation of uranium in Africa? Don't you know that? Oh, you know it. But you know what? Part of that same corrupt money are being put as a crumb into your bank account and not caring for the people of Africa. Let's continue here. And that's what Gaddafi said. Are you Negro? Are you slave? Are you puppets? He's referring to you people. And that is what Gaddafi said. He was at the age of 27. Gaddafi is reminding us. He said he was at the age of 27. He became president for Libya. And 27, he was wise. Then Tinubu, Gaddafi said at the age when he was 27, he was wise. Then Tinubu, Gaddafi said at the age of 27, he was wise than Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana. Gaddafi said when he was 27 and he became an African leader, he was wiser than Macky Sall of Senegal. He was wiser than the Ivorian president when he was at the age of 27. So Gaddafi is reminding us, folks, when these African leaders who are already in their 80s, in their 90s, They are not people to lead. Gaddafi is reminding us the best people to lead the African continent are the youth, are the younger generation. Gaddafi is reminding us Nkrumah was not in his 60 or 70 or 80 when he started fighting for Africa. Ahmed Sekou Touré, he was never in his 50, 60, 70 when he started fighting for Africa. Amilcar Cabral. All these people, they were young folks. They were youth that fought for Africa. Gaddafi is reminding us, we should wake up. We should not sit down to wait to say, oh, let the other folks lead. When our time comes, our time will never come if we don't stand out. Look at how Gaddafi became president. He's reminding us. Let's continue.
Blow with violence. In 2011, uprisings broke out in Libya. Foreign forces intervened and I was hunted down. On October 20th, 2011, near Sirte, my life came to a brutal end. It is with a heavy heart that I look back and realize that some of those who betrayed me did not understand the gravity of their actions. My own people, driven by external forces, did not understand that their betrayal would be a condemnation for themselves.
Gaddafi is reminding us again, the same ECOWAS, the same AU that betrayed him, they are the same ECOWAS, the same AU, again, that is betraying Africans, again, that is betraying Niger, again, that is betraying the entire Africa, that they want to carry war, that they are listening to Europe and America. Gaddafi is reminding us, those same puppets, those same people that sat down there and watched America went and bombed him, went and bombed Libya, went and overthrew Libya, went and invaded Libya, went and carried a coup in Libya. And then they kept muted, they kept silent. And after war, all their UN mission, all their UN summit, all the US African Leadership Summit, they have never spoken about it to question the United States to bring America to justice. But here it is again, this time around. It is the same America and Europe that is telling the same ECOWAS and AU to go and wage war, to go and punish African and not African, their own brothers and sisters, to go and punish them so that the American children can live better life, so that European children can live better life. Oh yes, because it is only African people who know how to experience poverty. It is only African people who know how to experience chaos. It is only African people who always stay in a gap as Jesus. But the reality here is, Europe and America have always portrayed themselves as Jesus. But they never die for Africans. But Africans are the one who are the devil, but die, take the place of Jesus and die for Europe and America. The people who portray themselves as the guy, they never die for Africans. They say we are the demons, but we act in a place of God and die for Europe and America, but they never die for us. Here again, one more time again, Africa is on the verge of dying for Europe and America, acting as the God, acting as Jesus. Gaddafi is warning us again. But Gaddafi is telling us we should not allow Tinubu, we should not allow Macky Sall, we should not allow them. The way they did him dirty, we should not allow them to do Africa dirty. Because it was Libya, but this time around, they are coming for the entire continent. And that's how we all should wake up. They shoot, we should shoot. They point knife, we should point knife. They take our blood, we should take our blood. This time around, Gaddafi is telling us, no more Bible. No more Bible. This is not a time to take Bible to go in a closet to pray. You will be in a closet and they will bump you.
To the irreversible. The West manipulated minds, sowing discord and division among my own. Betrayal can never be a viable option. It may seem lucrative in the short term, but it incurs a moral debt that can never be repaid. The price of betrayal is heavy, and it can haunt those guilty of it for the rest of their lives. I sound the alarm to my African brothers and sisters. Do not fall into the trap of betrayal for some fleeting gains. The West only thinks of itself, its own interests. If you betray your own people, if you turn your back on your African brothers and sisters for the sake of the West, you will condemn yourself to remain prisoners of your actions. Unity is the only path to freedom. When we turn against each other, we strengthen the chains of our own oppression. History shows us that division only leads to weakness and vulnerability. True freedom can only be achieved when we stand together as a people, as united Africans. The temporary sacrifices we make for the common good will ultimately free us from the shackles of foreign oppression. Let's not let the divisions sown by others blind us. Today, I look from beyond, hoping that my words will serve as a constant reminder. The West may offer tempting promises, but they are often tinged with deception. True strength lies in our unity, in our solidarity as the African people. Do not betray your brothers and sisters. Do not betray Africa. In life, there are times when one must choose between living one's own life fully, entirely, completely, or dragging the dishonorable, hollow, and false existence that the world, in its hypocrisy, imposes on us. I chose to live by my convictions, and I hope my story will inspire others to do the same. Life is fleeting, but ideas are eternal. I hope my legacy will continue to inspire future generations to fight for justice, freedom, and dignity.
Now, that's the war of Gaddafi. And let me say this to Gaddafi while he's in his grave. And thank him for this great message. We are not going to give up. Your legacy will live on forever. Your vision will live on forever. You will reign forever. If we are to call any names in regard to our struggle, we will call on the name of our forefather, the name of those that struggle specifically for us. Not the names that never cared for African people. Because by the time we call those names, we are calling those names in vain. Now, like he rightfully said, how the mainstream media, Western media, uses propaganda to change our view, our mind. And a plane crash that just happened. There have been numerous media views, lot of talks about who did it, according to them. According to them, they believe it was Putin. According to them, they believe it was Putin. But according to us, we don't believe it's Putin. We don't believe it's Putin. We believe it is some, they always say, right, alien, right? It was some alien, right? It was some alien. It was not Putin. It was some alien that just came from nowhere to crash that plane. And we're going to give the reason why that alien came from somewhere to crash that plane. We're going to give the reason. Folks, we have to stop allowing Western media, mainstream media, to give us the narrative. Because those narratives, it is not, or they are not narrated that fit to our perspective, our struggle, what we experience. First of all, these are people that don't care about African situation. How can people who don't care about your struggle, who don't care what you go through, but they are the one to come and give you solution? You can never give African people solution. No, nobody on this planet Earth can ever give you solution when they don't care about your problem. You don't care. If I don't care about your problem, why should I give you solution? Do you think the solution I'm giving you, it is a solution? First of all, I don't care how I give you solution. This is the Revolutionary Persuasion Educational Lecture Series. We are unapologetic. If America does not care about African people situation, why would she care about the solution? Nobody on planet Earth will never care about your struggle, about your demise, will give you solution. That's a blunt lies. Europe will never give African people solution as long as they don't care. How can someone who is happy of your demise, because your demise means freedom, your demise means life, pursuit of liberty for them. How can your demise mean liberty for them? And then you think they will find solution for your demise? Does it make sense? We should come to understand and realize that these people will never give solution to African people problem. So if they come out on their propaganda media to tell you how things look like, how things happen, we will not believe it. So they might say it is believed that Putin bombed the plane and the plane crashed. No, we believe it is some alien that came from space. But we don't believe it is Putin. We believe it is some alien or some UFO that came from space and bombed that plane. And we will give the reason why UFO came and bombed that plane. UFO, right? Yeah. We have to be able to find our own narrative. How can people who say in Niger, they don't care about how people in Niger feel? All they care about is to reinstill a government that the people do not like. Then how can such people come to tell you this is a solution for you? How can such people come to tell you this is what actually happened? Let's continue here. So before we go, let's go back to Nigeria, to ECOWAS. Now, just from the video we just played, where Gaddafi said his African brother, his African leaders did not listen to him when he warned them about the West, when he warned them about Europe and America. They listened to him not. When he told them that these people, they are evil, they got evil mind. When he told them that if we don't unite, if you leave me hanging, because they see that I am fighting a just cause, and I just cause will mean their demise. They will come for me. And the only way they will not come for me, we have to unite. And they paid no attention to him. He warned them. But he told them, if we don't unite and they come for me, they overthrow me, just make sure you will be next. And just make sure Africa will never be free. Because the day any of you rise up and want to do the same thing I'm doing, and you don't unite, you will be next. And that is what exactly going on. We have traitor. The current Nigeria president is a traitor. Tinubu, he's a traitor. Let's see here. Let's see something.
Saharan pipeline to pipe our gas to Europe. Why should we leave Russia to do the whole thing and continue to complain? We can do it. We need to take bold action confidently. I mentioned the Trans-Saharan pipeline to pipe our gas to Europe. Why should we leave Russia to do the whole thing and continue to complain? We can do it. We need to take bold action confidently.
Now, like I said, there's a reason the plane got crashed. Just pay attention keenly as we go on, okay? I will try my best to make you understand. Now, this is the Nigerian president, the current president of Nigeria, Tinubu, Bola Tinubu, right? He's stating that, telling Africans, telling the Nigerian, the parliament, right? We need to take action to sell our transatlantic pipeline. We have covered this several times, right? We talk about uranium, and now we say it is not just uranium, it is beyond uranium. It is beyond uranium, right? We say it is the gas line that Europe and America want. That they are saying they should reinstall Bazoo because that pipeline needs to pass through Niger, go Algeria, and flow gas to Europe and America, right? But Tinubu said, after the transatlantic slave trade that got Europe and America who they are today, after the transatlantic slave trade, that today made America and Europe to behave the way they are behaving against Africans, where Africans are trying to rise up, to get their place back where they were, to own everything beneath the sea that belongs to them on their land, not in someone private or someone else's land, but on their land, on their continent, after the transatlantic slave trade. Bola Tinubu is telling us, saying there is no more anything like transatlantic slave trade, we should have the transatlantic pipeline. Because Africa is the Jesus Christ for Europe and America. Yes, we are always known to build other people's economy, but we don't build our economy. We are always known to build Europe and America economy, but not African economy. So now, after the transatlantic slave trade, the new form of colonization, the new form of enslavement is called the transatlantic pipeline going to Europe and America. What is the benefit of Africans? What was the benefit when Africans were enslaved? The transatlantic slave trade. What was the benefit? What was the benefit when Africa was colonized? What was the benefit? And what is the benefit with the transatlantic pipeline? But look, but right. We should not even use such word like transatlantic when we know what transatlantic means. It reinforces the behavior of that time. It reinforced what we went through, what we experienced. At this time, There is nothing that African people should even call transatlantic. Maybe if we are saying it, we should say it to teach history. But if not, to attach anything to say transatlantic, and then the benefit of it is going to the same people who benefited from the transatlantic slave trade, and then you have another called the transatlantic pipeline. For who? For Africans? Transatlantic pipeline. Tinubu Tondo could fire you. Tinubu Tondo could fire you there. And all those who support that transatlantic pipeline, Tondo could fire you. Let our forefather who was buried on the sea, who were thrown over on the sea, fire you. Their Tondo fire you in your bedroom. Let their Tondo fire you in your bedroom. In your bedroom. The men and women that died during the transatlantic slave trade, that was thrown overboard on sea, that then fire you. Now you understand what Tinubu said they should invade Niger. Now you understand what Tinubu said they should put sanction on Niger. Now you understand why AU cut off all tie from Niger, folks. We are coming to the plane crash. All these are the road leading to the plane crash. Don't worry, we are coming. We know how to put the pieces together to understand, to visualize what is going on. Transatlantic pipeline. Turn off fire you. Now, Tinubu said, we can do it. He studied African. We can do it. We can send our electricity, our gas pipeline. But guess what, Tinubu? Guess what? Tinubu appealing to the House of Parliament in Nigeria to supply her colonial master with the African gas, right? Good, fine, perfect, bravo. But how about the millions of Africans in Africa, even in Nigeria? How about the millions of Africans in Algeria? The millions of Africans in Niger that are lack of electricity? This is not opinion. Let me put out something quick, and then we get to the next page. Let's see something. Tinubu is begging Africans, right, to supply Europe and Africa and America, because Africa has supply of electricity. But let's see here. How can you supply people with resources that you have, but you own it not? You have access to it not. You are lacking of it. You are striving for it. But you take it and supply people who have exploited you for over 400-500 years. Aren't you tired? Let's see here. Before Tinubu can supply Europe and America, let's see the lack of electricity in Nigeria. Let's see something. Let's see something here. Let's see something. Let's see something here. Come with me. Now, this is a report done by various entities, by various organizations, right? Let's see something here. Folks, let's see something here. It says report 86 million Nigeria, 86 million, right? It said Nigeria rank as world top country with lack of access to electricity. Let me read that again. Maybe Tinubu did not get me. Maybe Tinubu does not understand the generation he's dealing with. Maybe the lack of Tinubu, who are African leader, they don't understand the generation they are dealing with. Nigeria, the Nigeria that Tinubu said they should export electricity to Europe and America. If to say Nigeria already has surplus of electricity. But here it is a report done by various entities, which of course we're going to read them and call them out, Tinubu, this is Nigeria. Nigeria rank as world top, T-O-P, top country with lack of access to electricity. How can you rank the world number one? Lack of electricity. But you want to take that electricity to give it to the world that is ranked first. Let's see something here. Let's see something here. Let's read something here quick. It says Nigeria has been designated the country with the largest number of people lacking access to electricity, with 86 million of 8 over 200 million population living without. They did not say with. They said without, not with, but without electricity as of 2021. A joint report by multi-international agency has revealed. Now, let's continue a little bit. According to the report compiled by the International Energy Agency, IEA, the International Renewable Energy Agency, RENA, plus the United Nations, UN, and the World Health Organization, WHO. And by the way, do you see how the West laugh at Africans? And these are all European organizations, right? These are all Western organizations that came out with a report that says Nigeria ranked the top country in the world, not in Africa, but in the world that lack electricity, that lack access to electricity. This report was never done by African organization. This is a report done by the same European. How? This is why they laugh at Africans. This is why they laugh at Africans. This is why they see African as 3/5 of a lesser human being. This is why they see African as inferior. This is why they see that Africans do not have high IQ. These are some of the things. But let's continue here. In the World Health Organization, the countries with the largest number of people without access, not with, but without access to electricity as of 2021 were one. Number one, Nigeria. 86 million. 86 million people are out of electricity. Second, Democratic Republic of Congo. 76 million people are out of electricity. Third, Ethiopia. 55 million people are out of electricity. But here it is. Nigeria. Tinubu is telling us we can do it. We can make it. We can supply Europe and America because they are suffering, because we have surplus of aid. We cannot allow Russia. Russia have nothing in what is going on. This is a liberation. This is freedom we are fighting for. Russia have nothing to do with this. After all, who went and bombed the Russian pipeline? Only because they were depending on the pipeline in Africa, because they said they had their slave in power like Tinubu and the rest as president. Let's continue with the report. The report highlighted the electricity access deficit, something we are lack of, right? Deficit in sub-Saharan Africa, where half of the regional population still lack access to electricity, pointing out that the 20th country in Africa with the larger access of deficit accounted for 75% of the world population. Then what is Tinubu talking about here? That we have surplus, how they call it, surplus of electricity, so we can do it. We can do it. We should supply Europe and America. We should not allow Russia to come and stop us. We can do it. But 75% of Africans, of the world population, African made 75%. But we are lack of electricity. Let's continue here, right? As of 2021, the 20 countries with the largest access, and we read that already, right? We read that already. So let's see, there's something here that I want to see here. What is that solution and something? But if we don't find it, you already finished getting the messages. We can go on, all right? We can go on. We can move on. Okay, unfortunately, let's see something here. All right, let's see something here. They said the report further emphasized that about half of the regional population still in Africa. This is not Europe and America or Australia, right, or Asia. This is Africa. The report further emphasized that about half of the regional population still lack access. In 2021, saying as a result, more than 80% of the world unsafe live in sub-Saharan Africa. More than 80% of the world unsafe live in sub-Saharan Africa in 2021. Tinubu, did you hear that? Did you see that? You are playing with a generation that does not take no sense. Now, if noted that electricity access was essential for education as well as for healthcare facility, including lighting, cleaning water supply, childbirth, and neonatal care, immunization, storage, blah, 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 medical equipment, and all of those things. That is why Africa is underdeveloped. I don't want to use the word poor. That is why Africa is underdeveloped, because we have neo-colonial puppets like Tinubu and the rest that think like him are all helping to underdevelop Africa. Let me take this out. Let me take this out. Now, again, last week, we showed, right, a representative from America in Niger spoke, and they said they will do anything necessary that they will not fail in Africa. They will not fail in Niger. They will do anything necessary. We are coming to the plane crash. Just bear with me. Be with me. Pay attention. He said they will do anything necessary. And by the way, before we come to that plane crash, let me just remind you. Do you know the reason why they just had the BRICS summits, right, in South Africa? Do you know the reason why Putin did not travel? Do you know the reason why Xi Jinping did not travel? His plane could have been bombed as well. Xi Jinping in the air. When you are in the air, you have no control. But when you are on the ground, especially in your nation, you have much more protection than when you are in the air. There's a reason Putin did not travel. Not that Putin was afraid that if he traveled to South Africa, he will be arrested and turned over to the RCC, the so-called buyer RCC. No. Putin know at this time, traveling by plane in air, his life might be in threat. Xi Jinping also know. That's why they didn't travel to Russia, to South Africa. Pay attention now. We are coming a little bit to the plane crash. There's a reason those people did not travel. They sat down in China, in Russia, and they did a live video and they spoke. What they wanted to say, they said it. Being out there, you are not protected. People have more advantage over you. But in China, Xi Jinping has advantage. Nobody can just go in China and kill him or bomb his plane or bomb his car. No one can just go to Russia, bomb, how they call it, his car, his convoy. But no, it will not happen. He's more protected there than in the air. Prigozhin was not protected in the air. Know that this man, he's a private man. He's a private military man. The protection Putin will get in Russia, he will not get it. Understand that? Some alien came from UFO came and bombed his plane, right? Yeah, we can take that. That's the name we will use, UFO, okay? Let's continue here. Now, I just make you to understand a little bit, right? Now, let's get here. Now, Prigozhin, he just came from Africa. Now, I want you to understand, because mainstream media have already come out to say they believe it was Putin, because now they already created a narrative. They created a narrative and said Prigozhin and Putin have a beef because Prigozhin left Ukraine while he was fighting for Putin, or he was fighting for Russia. He left Ukraine, and then he and Putin had a beef. But guess what? Like I said, Prigozhin was just a private military man. The prime minister or the president of Belarus warned Prigozhin that he should be careful. They warned him. Do you think if these people did it, because Putin and the prime minister for Belarus, they are best of friends. And this whole issue of Russia, Ukraine, Belarus and Putin, they've been together. So Belarus want Prigozhin to be careful of his movement. Now you're getting the point here. Like I said, I'm not this point going onward, I'm not going to call name, but you understand. From part 1, we call name. Now you understand from part 2. Even if we don't call name, you understand. Yeah, UFO came from space, right? Yeah. All right, let's continue here. Prigozhin just came from Africa, right? Now, we already know Putin and Prigozhin had their beef, all right? But let me ask you a question. In whose favor? If Boko Haram is defeated in Africa, let's forget about Africa now. I mean, like people in Africa. But we are talking about Putin and a UFO that came from on the other planet, right? The UFO, all right? Or let's say the imperialists. If Boko Haram is defeated in Africa, will it be in favor of the imperialists or UFO, or will it be in favor of Putin? Another part. Like I said, I want you to get this whole thing. How that whole thing happened, and now you can do your judgment, right? But I'm not going to go deep and give you and say this is what happened. But I'm just letting you to understand. If ISIS is or are defeated in Africa, will it be in favor of the UFO or the imperialists, or it will be in favor of Putin? If Al-Qaeda or if terrorist activities in Africa, if they are defeated, will it be in favor of Putin, or will it be in favor of the UFO, the neo-colonialists, or let's say the colonialists? Who favor it will be in? Because first of all, let's understand here. Who gave ammunition to the insurgent in Libya to go against Gaddafi? Who did it? So if Prigozhin went in Africa, now listen to me now. If Prigozhin went in Africa and he told Africans, I am going to help you. Now, first of all, let's understand this. The coup that took place in Niger, the coup is in whose favor and it is against whose favor? It is against, for that I will call him. It is against America and Europe because America and Europe said they had to reinstall Bazoum. So that means the coup that took place in Niger, it is against U.S. interest and European interest. And that is why they want to put him back, right? Now, we got that part. You understand again. Let's continue with the UFO or... Okay. We'll know how to do it here, all right? Pay attention here. Now, if the military government in Niger succeed by defeating the terrorists, all the way in which ECOWAS or AU sanctioned Niger and cut order with Niger, and then here it is, all of a sudden, Prigozhin went in Africa and promised the Nigerians, promised Africans that me and my army, we are going to fight alongside with you African army to defeat Boko Haram, to defeat Al-Qaeda, to defeat the terrorists. I have the manpower and I have the equipment. We will fight to liberate Africa. Prigozhin said he will make sure Africa is liberated and Africa is free from the colonialists. Pay attention. Was it in the interest of the imperialists? But Prigozhin giving that statement? Was it in the interest of the imperialists or it was in the interest of Russia? Pay attention now. Because people are coming to tell you it is, they believe it is Russia that did that. First of all, do you know why it happened on the airspace of Russia? Let me tell you what the UFO did not want. They could have done it in Africa. But if they was going to do it in Africa, it was going to be easier to detect who did it. But if it happened to the airspace of Russia, automatically people will believe what the mainstream media are saying. What they are saying. And that's how people believe in it now. Because it happened to the airspace of Russia. But if it was going to happen in Africa, when Prigozhin was in Africa, they could have done it. But it was going to give clear indication. African people are going to believe that it is the imperialists that did it because this man said he will fight to liberate Africa. He will fight to defeat Al-Qaeda ISIS. And we all know who supply Al-Qaeda. We all know who supply ISIS in our area. We all know it now. But now we know it now. So if this man said he's going to help, because Putin, now understand it is the same Putin that said he's going to fight alongside with Africa to fight jihadi and Al-Qaeda and ISIS. And Putin has been supplying the Malian army with ammo, with vehicles, with helicopter. So, if Prigozhin say he's going in Africa with the same mission with Putin to defeat Al-Qaeda or the terrorist group, will it not be in favor of Putin? So why will Putin, as the mainstream media have put it, they believe it is Putin that bombed the plane. Why will Putin go and bomb it? Now, if you don't understand it is some UFO that went and bomb it, then it leave with you. If you want us to call name here, then I don't think you get it. But now you understand. Let's continue over video and see. This is Prigozhin in Africa when he visited Africa. Okay. Now I'm going to allow this video to play. It's like 1 minute 35 seconds. I'm going to allow it to play, and then I'm going to read bit by bit what popped up on the screen, what he was saying. This is Prigozhin in Africa, right? This man came from Africa. Boom, his plane got crashed down by UFO. All right, let's continue here.
Делает, работаем. Температура плюс 50. Все как мы любим. ЧВК «Вагнер» проводит РПД. Делает Россию еще более великой на всех континентах. А Африку еще более свободной. Справедливость и счастье для африканских народов. Кошмарим ИГИЛ, Аль-Каиду и других бандосов. Берем на работу настоящих богатырей и продолжаем выполнение задач, которые были поставлены и которые мы давали обещание, что справимся. Работаем. Температура плюс 50. Все как мы любим. ЧВК «Вагнер» проводит РПД. Делает Россию еще более великой на всех континентах. А Африку еще более свободной. Справедливость и счастье для африканских народов. Кошмарим ИГИЛ, Аль-Каиду и других бандосов. Берем на работу настоящих богатырей и продолжаем выполнение задач, которые были поставлены и которые мы давали обещание, что справимся. Работаем.
Okay, now I'm going to replay it and then read, all right, what he was saying in Russian. All right. So if anybody believe from mainstream media that they believe that it was Putin that did this, then they are trying to tell us Putin is an enemy to Africa.
Температура плюс 50. Все как мы любим. ЧВК «Вагнер» проводит...
Okay. Since leading, I'm going to read now, okay, on here. Since leading a short life mutiny against the Crimea in June,
РПД делает Россию еще более великой на всех континентах.
the clip was posted on Telegram channel affiliated with the Wagner Group.
А Африку еще более свободной. Справедливость и счастье.
The clip would possibly be filmed in Africa, where Prigozhin has claimed they have been relocated from Belarus.
Счастье для африканских народов. Кошмарим ИГИЛ, Аль-Каиду и других бандосов. Берем на работу настоящих богатырей и продолжаем.
Prigozhin whereabouts were unknown. Now, do you remember what he's saying here is, if you can remember, when the issue happened in Ukraine and when they left, they were saying, oh, he's unknown, they don't know where he is, right? Now, he's just telling the world what people were thinking. Now, he's saying Prigozhin whereabouts were unknown after Wagner was moved to Belarus in the attempted coup.
Выполнение задач, которые были поставлены и которые мы...
The footage has not been geolocated or verified.
Давали обещание, что справимся. Работаем.
We are working. Now he's coming to Africa, right? He's talking about Africa now. We are working.
Температура плюс
The temperature is 50 plus. Everything as we like. That means Africa now. He's talking about Africa because this is not Europe. When it was fighting Ukraine war, it was cold, right? But he's saying in Africa, this is Africa. He's saying the temperature is nice and they like it. They love it. It's 50 plus. They love the temperature because it's not cold, right? Let's continue.
50. Все как мы любим. ЧВК «Вагнер» проводит РПД.
Now he said, Wagner PMC conduct recognition, right? So let's continue here.
Делает Россию еще
And such action make Russia even greater. Now, did you listen to this? And such action make Russia even greater. Then why, again a question, why do you think Putin will go against this man to crash down his plane? Here is a man saying their presence even in Africa will make Russia even greater. Now, the Wagner group presence in Africa to defeat Al-Qaeda and all the ISIS group. I ask you a question. Could it be in favor of Putin or against Putin? Now you understand here. Let's continue here.
более великой на всех
On all continents in Africa, more free.
континентах, а Африку еще более свободной, справедливой.
Justice and happiness for the African people. Justice and happiness for the African people. Now, let me ask you a question. Who does not want justice and happiness for the African people? The people that does not want justice and happiness for the African people are the people who are saying that you reinstill Bazoo, are the people who are saying that you invade Equa, are the people who are saying that you put sanction on Niger. I mean, people that do not want to see African free, that does not want to see African get justice, that do not want to see African happy, are the people who are supporting ECWA and AU to put sanction on Niger, to invade Niger, are the people who refuse to leave Africa, are the people who refuse to leave Niger when the Nigerian authority told them they should take their embassy and leave and pack their load. Those are the people that do not want happiness for Africa. The people who are saying they will do everything not to leave Africa. Those are the people that do not want to see justice and happiness for Africa, not Putin. Now, you understand the alien that came from space and bombed the plane.
Справедливость и счастье для африканских народов. Кошмарим.
He says, we are making life a nightmare. We are making life a nightmare for ISIS and Al-Qaeda and other bandits. Now, who been supporting bandits in Africa? Who been supporting ISIS in Africa? Who been supporting this terrorist group in Africa? It was reported by the Nigerian army in 2012-2013 that Médecins Sans Frontières of France were supporting Boko Haram. If it was reported that they were supporting Boko Haram, that also means it is not just Boko Haram they are supporting. They are also supporting ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and all those bandits group in Africa, because their aim is to destabilize Africa. Putin's aim is not to destabilize Africa. The Chinese aim, Xi Jinping aim, is not to destabilize Africa. We know the imperialists, their aim is to destabilize Africa. So now, who were against the plan of Prigozhin in Africa? The people from, the alien from space, they didn't want to bomb this plane. The unknown alien from the UFO. Now you understand.
ИГИЛ, Аль-Каиду и других бандосов. Берем.
He said, we are taking true warrior into service and continue. Now, we have African on the African continent. They are not true warrior. They are not willing to die for Africans or to fight for Africa. But when they build 110 million, the largest drum of U.S. base in the war, or the second in the war, it is in Africa, in Niger. How can you build 110 million worth of drum armed equipment in Africa, but you watch African people die? And in fact, African army do not have those modern weapons, but it is the bandits, it is the ISIS that have those weapons. How? Even ECWA is not even asking. ECWA is not even doing her research. AU is not even doing her research. There's no African nation in Africa that do manufacture those modern weapons. So they are not even asking where those modern weapons are coming from. So who were against this plan of Prigozhin? It was a Putin? Absolutely not. The people that were against this plan are the people who support the insurgent in Africa. The people that came from the UFO, they didn't want to bomb this plane. The people that came from the unknown space.
На работу настоящих богатырей и продолжаем выполнение задач.
He said, fulfilling the task that we set,
которые были поставлены и которые мы
we made promises, we will succeed.
давали обещание, что справимся.
Now, you understand what went on in here now, right? Now, let me give you another scenario again to understand that when mainstream media come and tell you they believe it was Putin that bombed that plane. Let me give you another scenario. Who invited this Wagner group in Niger? The Malian, the Guinean, the Nigerian, the Chadian, the people in our region. Who told ECWA, if you dare try it, we are ready to fight. If you dare try it, we are ready to fight. Niger invited the Wagner group. Now, who is against the military, the junta in Niger? Who is against them? Of course, America is against the junta in Niger, because America is saying it is an army that removed the United States government, not the Nigerian government, not the African government, but they are angry with the military because the military removed the American government, the European government. So if the military call on Prigozhin to go and help them, who you think is against? Now, if you don't get the scenario here, how it happened, then it left for you. Like I said, they could have bombed. The alien that came from space could have bombed his plane in Africa. But it was going to be easy to understand who bombed the alien that bombed the plane. So they have to leave it to be in Russia. First of all, he being in Russia, he's not protected because he's not part of the Russian military. He did not take oath to protect Russia. So he's not going to get protection. He never took oath. So the Russian army will not protect him. He's not part of the Federation of Russia. He's not. He's just a businessman. He's an entrepreneur. He's a military entrepreneur. He's a businessman. So the protection that he's supposed to get from The Russian military, he's not getting it. He's just a common civilian. He's a civilian. Let's put it that way. In Russia, he is a civilian because he did not take oath as a military. So he's not going to get a protection. So the plane he got in, it was not a plane that was protected or inspected by the Russian military, by the Federation of Russian, how they call it, military. No. Because that plane, the Russian army have nothing to do with it to say they're going to inspect it or Prigozhin is coming. No. He have no protection. So let's get that fact clear. So they did a dirty job. The UFO came from space, the unknown space, and did the dirty job. And then it will be easy to convince people that it is Putin because Putin and Prigozhin have their beef. But if they are going to do it on a neutral ground, it was going to be easy to understand the alien. Now, was it a foul play? You understand now? They was never going to allow him to go back to Africa. After he went to Africa and gave those promises. And in fact, he said he's happy because the climatic condition of weather in Africa is not cold, it's warm. So they love it. After he had given those promises that he was going to fight the army of the imperialists, the ISIS, the Al-Qaeda, the Boko Haram, he was going to defeat them. Do you think it was in the favor of the imperialists? It was never in their favor. And that's how some unknown alien or UFO might have come to do the dirty work. Now you understand who the enemies are when it comes to Africa. Gaddafi warned us. And while he stayed in his grave, he keep on sending messages to us to warn us. He warned us that they kill him for freedom. I mean, we have said it here before. African people crime when it comes to the imperialists is by fighting for freedom. Africans have never committed any crime that the imperialists have committed. The only crime African ever commit is by asking to leave them alone. If you ask the imperialists to leave Africans alone, that's a crime. Oh, you don't believe it? Oh, let's see this. Say you don't believe it. Let's see another thing here. Let's go to Nigeria. All right? Say you don't believe it. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see the arrogance of France. What's the Facebook? Oh, let me see here. Let me see here. Not this. Let's go back here. No. It should be one of these. Let's take this out. Let's take the civilian out. Okay. Let's see this here. Let's see the arrogance of France, okay?
La situation au Niger est en fait quelque part l'aboutissement de notre retrait progressif du Sahel. La France en est chassée État après État au profit d'ailleurs.
Le Mali, le Burkina Faso
C'est
déjà.
ça. Il est évident que les ressources minières du continent africain intéressent fortement Moscou et que Moscou fait tout pour nous déstabiliser. Nous ne pouvons pas quitter le Niger et je suis donc pour le coup dans les 19% des sondés qui pensent que la France doit rester présente militairement non seulement au Niger mais ailleurs en Afrique. Notre retrait nous coûterait très cher à terme. Nous avons besoin de rester très présents sur le continent africain, mais c'est la seule qu'il nous reste après avoir été chassés d'autres pays. Notre intérêt premier, c'est de rester sur place le plus longtemps possible. Moi, je ne veux pas être naïf, parce qu'en diplomatie, il ne faut pas être naïf. La France a besoin d'être présente en Afrique, y compris pour ses intérêts économiques.
All right. It's in French. Now, I'm going to replay it and then read the words, okay, of what he was saying. Now, these are people, right? These are people that says to us that Africa is a continent of aid. But here it is, though. When we speak, we say, well, you say Africa is a continent of aid, that we depend on Europe. We depend on America taxpayer money to survive. Now, we are saying we don't want American taxpayer money. We don't want European taxpayer money. We don't want European aid. We don't want it. Keep it. I mean, use it for your people. Leave us alone. We can manage with our life. We will rule our life. Then they get angry. You see? Why will America get angry? If African says, look, America, we don't need your money. Take your money, use it for American. Use it for the homeless in America. Use it for the less fortunate in America. Use it to improve your medical how they call it institution. Use it to improve your educational institution. We don't need it. Why should America get angry? For example, why should France or Europe get angry? If Africa says, look, listen, Europe or France, thank you for the years that you have provided aid for us. You know what? We don't need aid again. Why should France get angry if France want to help Africans and Africans say no? Why should America get angry if America want to help Africans and Africans say no? Why should they get angry? Why should America get angry if African tell America, take a missionary from Africa, let them go? Why should America get angry? By the way, it is the people that need help, and the people said they don't need your help. Why you get angry? You went to get help to people, and the people says they don't need it. Why should you get angry? There's no need to get angry. Hold on, folks, I'm coming. Yes, so why should you get angry? France, Africa say they don't need you. Leave them alone. Why should you get angry if someone tells you they don't need your help? If someone tells you, hey, you know what? No longer we need your aid. Why should you get angry? You know the reason why they're getting angry? Because the aid they give us, it is not aid. The aid America give Africa is not aid. The aid France or Europe give to Africa is not aid. It is the resources of African that they exploit and they get billions of dollars and then take millions and then come and give it to us as aid. Now they know that we have discovered it, because you know what? That's how over the years they have used their media to propagate that, oh, America gave aid to Niger. In fact, the larger recipient of American aid are Niger. The larger recipient of European or French aid are Niger. That's how they have do it over and over to instill that into our mind, into our brain, so that we will be afraid to let them go, because we think we will not survive without their aid. But now we have come to realize that their aid is not aid, but rather our resources that they exploit from us, and they take it to Europe and America, and they make it into a finished product, and they get billions of dollars out of it, and then take million or $1,000 and come and give it to us as aid. So you see where the problem is going. Now, let's see the French, what the French said, right? Listen to what they said. When the Nigerian authority, I'm not going to say the junta, the authority, they are not junta, they are the authority, they are freedom fighter. Look, anytime Europe and America give a description, we should not take it. They are not junta. They are freedom fighter. They are liberator. They are not junta. Whichever way they call it, that's their business. But guess what? They are not junta. They are freedom fighter. They are liberator. But let's see what the French say. I'm going to read it now, okay? Bit by bit, I'm going to read it and see what he's saying here. I'm going to read it.
Ce qui l'inquiète, c'est que la situation au Niger.
He said, anyway, the first one passed, but he said in Niger
est en fait
is in fact somewhat
quelque part l'aboutissement de notre retrait progressif.
Gradual withdrawal. So that means, because they are being told to leave, but he's saying it is somewhat. That means they are not even sure if they really want to leave. That means they don't even respect the Nigerian authority. That means they see us as what 3/5 of a lesser human being. They see us as inferior. That means they don't take order from Africans, and I don't blame them, because it is African organization that Europe and America, even France, telling them to go against Niger, and these puppet organizations going against their brothers and sisters, another African nation. It was never called Niger before 1884 Berlin Conference. It was never called Niger. It was never called Nigeria. It was never called Chad. It was never called those names before 1884 Berlin Conference. It was just a continent that Black people live in. It was not even called Africa at that time. We were not even called Africans. It was called the Akubu land. So before you see it as Niger that you want to go and fight, it means you are protecting colonial bolos. It means you are protecting colonial entity. Because if you say you are putting sanction on Niger, you are saying you are protecting colonial identity. Not Africans, but colonial identity. That's why you are protecting. But let's continue here. So he's telling us it is a gradual process. It is a gradual withdrawal. If to say, in France, when they're deporting Africans, African can say it is gradual process. We have to see what we can do. You can't tell us to leave. We have to take our own time. If to say in America, when they are deporting Africans do tell the American government it is a gradual process, you know, or you can't force us. We got to take our time. We got to see when to leave.
Du Sahel, la France en est.
He said, France is being driven. France is being driven. What is that driven? Let's see here.
Chassé État après État.
France is being driven after country in favor. Now, I mean, he's trying to say after country in favor of Russia now, right? Let's continue here.
Au profit du Mali, le Burkina Faso.
Like in Mali and Burkina Faso.
C'est ça, il
that it is obvious that
est évident que les ressources minières du continent africain
the African continent, that it is obvious that the African continent
intéresse fortement Moscou.
Moscow, and that Moscow. So now understand why the aliens came from space and bombed Prigozhin. Understand how that plane was bombed. How that plane got caught on fire. Now you get to the point here. All right, let's continue here. African continent, African people, and Moscow, right? Let's continue.
Et que Moscou fait tout pour nous déstabiliser.
And Moscow, I know he said something, but to destabilize us. I mean France, to destabilize France in Africa. So he's saying the Russian, Africans, they are trying to destabilize France in Africa. You see how dumb and stupid this idiot son? How can we destabilize France in Africa? We can only destabilize France in France, but we cannot destabilize France in Africa because France do not own Africa. France have no part in Africa. France have no rights in Africa. France only have right in Europe. So if we want to destabilize France, it can be in Europe, not in Africa. But now, you see the narrative, you see what's happening here now, right? Do you see what is going on here? After Prigozhin went in Africa, in Niger, and stood there and made those statements, right? And the authority called on the ambassador of France in Niger. And in fact, he refused. He did not go. So now he's coming to point finger at Moscow and the African continent that they want to destabilize France in Africa.
Nous ne pouvons pas quitter le Niger.
Now he said, we cannot leave Niger. So, who need help? Who is the one giving aid to their friend? Niger is telling you, we don't need you. We don't need your aid. Leave Africa. But here is France. France is telling us they will not leave Niger. Now you understand the alien that came from space. Now you understand the alien that came and bombed Prigozhin plane. Let's continue.
Niger, et je suis donc, pour le coup, dans les 19%.
He said that 19% of the pool
des sondés qui pensent que la France doit rester présente.
Must remain present. The 19% of French army, of French presence in Africa will remain present. How arrogant. Now, this is what ECOWAS and AU are playing with. Which one of the African ambassador in Europe, in France, that the French government or European government will tell them to leave, and they said we cannot leave? Which one of the African ambassador in America, Washington DC, will tell he or she to leave, and they said we will not leave, we will stay present? Let's continue here.
Militairement.
He said militarily presence not.
Non seulement au Niger, mais ailleurs en.
But elsewhere in Africa. What is that elsewhere in Africa? Now he's saying, even if it is not military presence, but they will remain in Africa. But folks, let me tell you something here. What the European, what the oppressor, the imperialists are trying to do right now, because they have tried through ECWA, and it's not working. They have tried through AU, where AU have called altar, and it's not going to work. Because they have tried their puppet organization, it's not working. They are trying to intimidate Africans, for Africans to do something. And then now they will use their military, and then says their life were in threat, and there was nothing they could do but to fight back. That is what they are doing right here, trying to intimidate Africans. But let me say this to the Nigerian. Let me say this. They can stay there all they want, right? He can stay there all he wants. But as far as we're concerned, do not do business with France. Amen. Look, it's very easy. Do not do business with France. And any ambassador in Niger that you tell them to leave and they don't want to leave, leave it. They will leave. The only thing I will tell you is, do not do business with them. And second, their bases, they should be out. Our resources, they should not have any access to it. They can go sit in an empty building and do what they want to do. Leave them, let them be there. But do not make any attempt, because that's what they want. That is what they want. That is what they want. They want to intimidate you, to put you to the edge of doing something, because they have tried by all means to make Africans to go one against one another, to kill one another. But they know that Africans are standing up to say, wait, should we die for America? Should we die for France? Should we die for Europe? The colonizer, the imperialists, the people that dehumanize us, the people that rape us, the people that torture us, the people that castrated us, the people that laugh at us, the people that did all kind of inhumane activities or behavior to us, the people that chop off our hands, our toes in DRC Congo, the people that stole our resources, that today we are still fighting for it, that the people we should go fight for. They are seeing it that Africans are not dumb and stupid. Maybe we were once, but they are seeing it that we are not taking up to their interests. So they will do something to intimidate you, and then they will use that. And then when they use that, you and their organization will support them, will back them and say, but yeah, Niger tried to kill the French ambassador, or Niger tried to kill the French people, or Niger tried to do this. After all, UN is not an organization to fight for Africans, but they are looking for a way so that it won't go against them as violation of human rights. So leave them. Let them sit in their empty building. But equally so, the same way they told AU or ECWA to sanction Nigeria or Niger, we can also sanction them by not doing business with them. Because it is because of the resources that they don't want to leave. So if we take our resources and do business with other people, we sanction them. It is easy for us to sanction them, period. Do not do business with them.
En Afrique, notre retrait,
He said our withdrawal would,
nous coûterait très cher.
in the long run. So he's saying, in the first place, they are not going to leave Niger. But let me tell you this, folks. All these are tactics of intimidation. Niger, Africans, we should not fall for this. They will leave. All these are intimidation.
À terme, nous avons besoin de rester.
He said, we need to remain. You need to remain, but you will not remain. That is your view. Go to France. We don't need you. That's Africa. We don't need your presence. We don't need your help. Now you understand who need help. Now you understand France is a third world country. Now you understand the European nation are the third world continent, are the third world nation, are the third world NATO. Now you understand why they are so stubborn. You say Africa is poor, but the poor continent is starting to leave. The poor nation, the poorer nation is starting to leave, and you refuse to leave. Do you want to die in poverty? No, Niger is telling France, do not die in poverty. Do not die. Leave the poverty land. Don't die in poverty. Go to your rich country. Go and die there. Go and enjoy your rich country. Leave our poverty, freaking poor continent and nation. Go to your rich continent and your rich nation. Go there. We don't need you. Why are you refusing? You are poor. Not Africa who is poor. Africa is rich. But Africa has just been taken advantage of by Europe and America.
C'est très présent sur le continent africain.
He said, on the African,
mais c'est la seule qu'il nous.
But it is Niger.
Après avoir été
But after being chased out,
chassé d'autres pays, notre intérêt premier, c'est de.
Our primary reason is to stay there as long. So anyway, let me take this out now so you understand. Now, you understand what is going on in Africa now. You understand how the alien, some unknown alien came from somewhere we don't know that went and bombed Prigozhin plane. Now you understand. You understand now, right? You understand what happened with the plane. You understand what happened? Now, let me just show a short video. All right, we got one video and then the other one will just play, as we see what's going on. Now, let me play a short video of the presence of U.S. Army, French Army, German Army, British Army in Africa. The policies they have in Africa. I don't know why African leaders, some of them are so dumb and stupid. Some of them get mud brain in their head. See what they agree to. This video I'm about to show, right? These are the right. These are the right that America military have in Africa. They are private military. I mean, the Africa in Africa, it is not like the real Marine or the real Army. They are also private military under the jurisdiction of America. The only difference from African and the Wagner group is that the African took an oath for American interest. That's the only difference. But they are not a Marine, they are not an Army. They may also have Marine uniform or Army uniform because they took an oath. That's the difference. But let's see the freedom. Let's see the freedom these foreign military have in Africa that even the African military do not have. We are a colonial continent. That's the facts about it. Africa is a colonial continent. You like it, you don't like it, but our leader saw Africa.
In Ghana, about foreign military bases on our continent. And I feel sad that Ghana is hosting one of these foreign military bases. Now, if you read the terms under which these military bases are established on our continent, you feel sad. You feel hopeless. In Ghana, we have allowed the United States of America to establish its military base on our soil. Under the agreement which allows the U.S. to establish this military base, our head of state is stopped from entering that territory. The US military base is not accessible even to the head of state. As if that was not enough, in the agreement, we have committed to an arrangement under which if US soldiers come to Ghana and kill Ghanaians, Ghanaians cannot go to court to ask for redress. We have committed ourselves to an arrangement under which property destroyed by US soldiers in Ghana, if your property is destroyed by US soldiers in Ghana, you cannot go to court. We have given our frequencies for the use of the US military for free. Our frequencies are given to the US forces for free. When Ghanaians have to pay millions in order to get frequencies to establish radio stations and television stations and so on, the US can take it for free. Excuse me. Under the agreement, US soldiers entering Ghana are not subject to inspection. They are not subject to search. You can't search them. You can't look through their bags. You can't examine what is on their body. And when they leave, they are also not subject to customs inspection. They cannot be searched. US soldiers do not need passports to enter Ghana. They don't need passports to enter Ghana. All they need is their ID cards. Under these circumstances, we have given US soldiers privileges way and above diplomats. Because even the American ambassador needs a passport to enter Ghana. A US soldier does not need a passport to enter Ghana. In any case, what are these soldiers doing on our continent? What are they doing on our continent? Our leaders must ask themselves some interesting questions. Of course, they say that there's a global village, whatever that means, but they say that there's a global village. If this is a global village as they define, then everybody has interest everywhere. Now, if we decided to station a battalion of the US, of the Ghanaian army in Washington, what would happen? Now, if the US would not allow us to station a battalion in Washington, why do we then allow them to station a battalion on our soil? Ab initio, this arrangement means that we have accepted that we are inferior. And that is one of the reasons why we need to wake up and dismantle these arrangements in order to establish our equality and so on. I suspect that
I was muted. Now, from what you heard, like I was saying, Africa is a colony. No matter what you want to do, how you want to say, how you want to feed, Africa is a colony. Our current political leader sold the continent back to the colonizer, back to the enslaver. Our current political leader, they sold our birthright. A colony is a territory, entity, a jurisdiction, a period where its people, its citizens have no right compared to the people outside of that entity, of that jurisdiction that control that place. Your right is determined by the people who control that place. Your judgment is determined by the people who control that place. Your existence is determined by the people who control that place. Your voice is determined by the people who control that place. So Africa is a continent of, or let's say a colonial continent controlled by Europe and America. Because even our army, the African army, oh my, the African army have no right to the land as compared to the American army, the European army. How dare you make such arrangement? Even our African army can be searched by another army. But American army, African or foreign army can never be searched. Even if they come and rape our mothers, our sisters, our girls, even if they are being raped and tortured, they will never go to trial. You will never take case against them. Is that not a colony where your people don't have right? Your right is determined by the people that control you. Are we free? Are we a continent that is free? Nations that are free? Where did the independent go? Let's watch the last video. So that is why the French, when the Niger authority told them to leave, the French are saying they will not leave. Did you see that? That is a colony, a continent colony.
How many of our presidents in ECOWAS are loyal to the citizens and to the oath that they have sworn? Alassane Ouattara, an illegitimate puppet of the West, will have the effrontery to tell people that he is willing. Why not? He's willing, because long before today, we are aware that Macron has been speaking to him, and that behind the scenes, he's been talking to the president of Ghana. And they were thinking that Ghana would simply supply the military to go. These people think that by virtue of the fact that they have been elected into office as heads of state, they have everything to dismantle and damage the nations that they represent. Alassane Ouattara served 2 terms, right? After his 2 terms, he virtually stepped down and said that he was going to allow people that he anointed to succeed him. Anytime he anointed somebody, the person died. Anytime he made a public pronouncement that this is the person that I will take over from me, the person doesn't last long. More than 3 people that Alassane Ouattara said that, look, they were ready to take over from him. All of them died. The last one was Koulibaly. That he said, oh, he is not going to contest. And then Koulibaly was going to. As soon as Koulibaly died, Alassane Ouattara somersaulted and went for a 3rd term. Where was Abdel Fattah Musa, the commissioner responsible for good governance and democracy? Could he speak? Where was President Nana Akufo-Addo when the constitution was violently overthrown by Alassane Ouattara? And he was imposed on the people because he is a puppet of France. Where were they when this happened? That illegitimate head of state in Cote d'Ivoire, giving the backings of France, is saying that he's willing and ready. Of course, he should be willing and ready, because he is the one that we understand France is using. Go to Senegal, Aladi. Macky Sall became president with a promise to reduce the term of presidency from 7 to 5. And with the fact that he was not going to contest for 2 terms, and they ensured that the rules were established. Soon after that, Macky Sall did everything to go for a 3rd term. Any member of the opposition that opposed Macky Sall's 3rd term bid is in jail. There have been massive disruptions and instability in Senegal. The last one was the Trump Act charges they peddled against Ousmane Sonko, that he had gone to rape a lady, and it turned out that it could not be proven. What did the court charge Ousmane Sonko for? They charged him for inciting the youth. Listen, at the end of the day, somebody that had no freedom, they charge him, the court charged him for
that he was corrupting the youth.
That corrupting the youth. And for that reason, he should go into jail for 2 years, by which time the elections for which he was planning to contest would have been over. That Abdel Fattah Musa did not see and does not call for good governance and to call on ECOWAS or ECOMOC to go and interfere. Because Macky Sall was running down his economy and running down democracy. He did not see that. All of a sudden, Abdel Fattah Musa is the one who is virtually commandeering and bulldozing his way so that they can go and launch a full-scale war in Niger. We are waiting for them. They've never met their Waterloo. They will meet their Waterloo. See, France has been everything but dangerous. To the wealth, to the health, and to the future of the young people of Africa. Why? Aren't you aware that the pact that France signed, which Modibo Keita refused to sign, which Sékou Touré refused to sign, for which reason these 2 persons were the first to be deposed after what happened in the Congo, in French-speaking Africa? What happened? They signed a pact in which France says that we are granting you independence. But whatever you produce, whatever you want to export, France should be the first option. And when France is not able to purchase what you are exporting at their own determined price, then France will recommend for you where to sell it. When you sell whatever you have exported, France will keep your money for you and give you 20%. Because you are not competent to handle your own money. So France will keep 80% and be given to you in bits. Alhaji doesn't even do that to his children. You don't keep your children's money and say, I want to. But that's what France does. As we speak, the presidential villa in Ivory Coast, where Alassane Ouattara is staying, is a property of France where they are paying rent. Ivory Coast is paying rent to France. Alassane Ouattara doesn't see anything wrong with this. The water they drink in Cote d'Ivoire, they pay water bill and electricity bill to France. And so it has gotten to a point where the young people in French-speaking Africa think that, look, we have had enough of France. If our legitimate so-called elected presidents are incapable of telling France in his face that enough of that pact, then the military should come in. It was a 3rd term bid of Alpha Condé in Guinea, which resulted in massive protests, but eventually he went through. Abdel Fattah Musa was commissioner of ECOWAS. He did not see anything wrong with that one. When he became the president, the people were angry. They deposed him. Ibrahim Boubacar Keita of Mali, you know what happened? He lost the House of Deputies, which is parliament, to the opposition. Then they went to what they call the Constitutional Court. After the Electoral Commission had declared the winners by the votes that they obtained, the Constitutional Court went and said that they don't use numerical numbers as done by the Electoral Commission to determine who has won elections or not. What else do you use? We go and count, we vote. It's a popular elections. Then I win. Then somebody go and say that no. Despite that majority of the people voted for you, we have another way to determine whether you have won or not. And they invalidated.
And which other way was that?
Well, that is what they sat and decided. They invalidated the victory of the opposition and gave majority to Ibrahim Boubacar Keita's political party. Where was ECOWAS? That led to spontaneous reaction in the society of Mali. Eventually, the military had no option than to step in to clear Ibrahim Boubacar Keita. You sit here and you don't understand, and you say that you are commissioner responsible for good governance and democracy, when the very leaders that are supposed to husband democracy are the ones by their actions are killing that democracy, and people want to rescue their continent. Where I sit and listening to the defense minister, listening to Abdel Fattah Musa, and of course, listening to the puppet Alassane Ouattara, I have no doubt that ECOWAS is in big trouble. When they decide to go and stage a war in Niger, they should not think that they are only going to confront the soldiers of Niger. They have the entire population of Niger to confront, because they must kill everybody in order that they will reverse this coup. But it's not only the Nigerians, it is also right-thinking persons and Africans who want Africa for Africa and Africa resources for Africa that they will have to be confronted with. Has the elections results of Bola Tinubu, has it been confirmed yet by the courts? No. The elections are in dispute. If it is not a useless institution like ECOWAS, how can somebody whose elections are still in dispute and are in contention be elected the chairperson of ECOWAS? Because his legitimacy is not fully confirmed. You go and confirm Bola Tinubu as the chairperson of ECOWAS. And a man who did not obtain majority of the votes, so take note, in his instance, you can call it first past the post. Because he got about 8 million votes, Alaji. Peter Obi got about 6 million votes. Abu Bakr Atiku got in excess of 6,000 votes. 6 million votes. If the two opposition parties add up, they are in the majority. What this means is that the majority of the voters say that Bola Tinubu, you are not even competent to be president. So whose mandate are you carrying into ECOWAS to go and fight? More importantly, he probably, despite the fact that his elections are yet to be validated or invalidated, thought it wise that if I have to send troops to go and topple a regime in Niger, I need the mandate of my Senate. That is his parliament.
Okay. Anyway, folks, I ended the video, but you almost finished anyway. But at least you have seen it. So you see what's going on the African continent, and you see the analysis of Prigozhin, his plane that got bombed, where some unknown how they call it, alien came from space. That bomb his plane, right? But guess what? This is what we're going to say to the neo-colonialists and to the colonialists and to the imperialists. Who have you not yet killed when it comes to African people freedom? Who have you not yet killed? Who have you not yet imprisoned? I mean, aren't you tired killing? Aren't you tired coming from UFO? Aren't you tired killing? I mean, we are speaking to the alien that usually go and kill African, people. That usually go and kill people who fight for Africa, who fight for African liberation, who fight for African people. I mean, the alien. Aren't you tired killing? You're going to kill? Because wheresoever that aliens came from to bomb that plane, and then they say it is believed that it's Putin. I mean, you got more to kill. Because it's not going to stop the movement. It's not going to stop the revolution. This is a different time period and different time zone. Different generation and different energy of that generation. Whether or not Prigozhin was killed by some unknown elements, the freedom and liberation of Africa must go on. And by the way, if you think another commander of the Wagner group will not wake up to step in, you damn bloody lie. Somebody will step in. There was another man next to Prigozhin, even powerful than Prigozhin, but that man was just being respectful of Prigozhin because he did not want to cross, or he did not want to do what they call subordinate, cross-subordinate or whatsoever. So he was maintaining, or she was maintaining his or her position. But there is another person powerful than Prigozhin that is going to take over, that should help actually Africans to fight Boko Haram, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, all these terrorist groups supported by Western influence, by Western supply, by Western ammunition. Oh yes. If these people, I mean, let's get this clear. If these people can train other people to go take down African government who are not in compliance of their policy, why do you think they are not the one training those ISIS, those Boko Haram, those ISIS, Boko Haram terrorist group? Are you telling me they just came from space? Are you telling me they are a UFO? Hell no. If these people were the one that supported the insurgency of Libya, they gave arms and ammunition to the insurgency in Libya to overthrow Gaddafi, to kill Gaddafi, to destroy Libya. Why do you think they are not the ones supplying ammunition to the ISIS, to the Boko Haram, to the Al-Qaeda? Why do you think they are not the one? Let's get that clear. But this generation, we will fight back. We will fight back. So we dare ECOWAS. We dare ECOWAS and AU to even try a invasion. But now they carry on sanction. They call it tie. Who are you calling tie with? You are just a colonial puppet cutting tie with yourself. You are just a colonial puppet cutting tie with yourself. But guess what we're going to do? We are going to also punish. Because listen, we are already dead. What are you sanctioned? I mean, Niger, let's be frank here. We've sanctioned on Niger, we've asked sanction on Niger. Niger is the poorest country in the world. What's the difference? We've sanctioned, we've asked sanction. Niger is the poorest country in the world. So what do you think they are afraid of? They are already dead. So just go and bury them. Because your blood, African blood, whether you invade Niger or not, but as long those Africans die from disease, from starvation, their bloods are on the hands of ECOWAS and AU. Their blood are on the hands of Tinubu and the likes of Tinubu. Their blood are on Musa Fakao, the chairman for the so-called AU. Their blood are on their hands, whether you invade or not. But if any African in Niger die as a result of the sanction, their blood are on your hand. And your family, that curse will follow your family. Curse. This time, look, we are not praying. This time is not time for prayer. We are not praying. Our prayer will be directed differently. We are not praying again for forgiveness. For who? We are not praying for God to forgive the oppressor. We are not, we done with that, we passed that. For 600-700 years, we have done that, it's enough. If any African die as a result of sanction and cutting tie with Niger, curse with Fado, the family that support ECWA, that support AU to invade Libya, Niger, and to color tie with another African brothers and sisters. Curse will follow you. Generational curse will follow you. And we say amen to that. Generational curse will follow you. Generational sickness will follow you. And we say amen to that. Folks, this is a Revolutionary Persuasion Educational Lecture Series. I am your host, Frank Moba. This is the topic for today that I have for you, that we have covered. Share the live, subscribe, hit the like button. Let it reach to our people. Tell our people this is a different generation. No retreat, no surrender. We are already dead. So we are only waiting to be buried. I see you all Saturday and Sunday. Peace.